Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Alex Chisnell here from the Festival of Enterprise, and I am joined by Syed Mohiuddin Ahmed from Dell Technologies. How are you doing today, Syed?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me and to discuss about some of the things that's happening in the market. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Very good indeed. Second time that we've had you on over over the summer. In fact, over the British summer. So thank you for jumping on board with us again.
Always pleasure. Always.
So, and sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are now head of IT infrastructure solutions for the UK small business with Dell Technologies.
That's right. That's right. So I've just joined in start of this year. So I take care of the data center solutions, or you can call infrastructure solutions for from Dell for the UK SB market, small business customers, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And you've got 15 years experience in the IT industry, I read. So pretty well established and experienced in this regard as well.
Yeah, you can see that 15 years. Doesn't seem like 15 years though. It just looks like a few years back I joined Dell, but I'll be completing 15 years in Dell this year. So yeah, it's been a long time, and also it's been through IT. It's always been through technology, and still loving it. Still loving it.
Awesome, awesome. And how are things now for yourself? You're in Hyderabad at the moment. How are things looking at the moment? Through COVID and lockdown for you guys.
Yeah, it's actually getting better. So this morning we had a news. They are going to open some of the higher schools as well, higher secondary schools. So things are getting well from a COVID cases point of view. Because of our population, the numbers are really high. But yeah, it is actually getting better. I think fear has actually gone out of people's mind. Like how it was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, people were really scared to do anything. But now people are coming out and they are taking all the precautions necessary and then going on with the life. So yeah, things are just getting better.
Good. Yeah. My girl's just gone back to school. One yesterday, the other one Friday, which is still an extra week too long. But getting back to things in the UK like that, back to the workplace, back to school. So all good. So listen, everybody who's joining us once again, if you've been a regular here, both on the Crowdcast platform and also if you've joined us on social media, we stream through Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Welcome if you're here for the first time as well. And thank you for joining us. I think as we were talking, we've got another one next week lined up for you. But on today's webinar, you've obviously signed up for this, so you've read to see what it's about. We're talking gaining a competitive advantage with hybrid cloud solutions. And just to frame it for you, Syed will talk a little more about this when I hand over. But essentially, as we all know, companies are digitally transforming, some far quicker than others. And current circumstances have obviously accelerated these efforts with workforce, commerce, and learning all going virtual. Companies are running their workloads on multi-cloud, private, edge, and public cloud. So join us to learn how hybrid cloud solutions can support your business with the agility needed to gain a competitive advantage. So we're going to be talking about what's driving cloud adoption in the market, how cloud can help small business thrive, different adoption models, and why hybrid cloud is a growing strategy for success, and how Dell Technologies can help you get started with hybrid cloud. So any questions that you have throughout our live webinar today, pop them in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen into the chat box. There's also an Ask a Question tab if you want to go through the private channel, which I will receive and I can position to Syed as well. That's absolutely fine. And then we'll have a look at social media to see those of you who are watching on your phones as well. So thank you once again. And without further ado, I am going to hand over this webinar to Syed.
Thanks, Alex. And thanks everyone for joining today's webinar session. Alex have kind of briefed, and I'm pretty sure you might have already read exactly what this session is going to be about. My name is Syed Mohiuddin Ahmed. You can address me as Syed in the chat box, and you can see my contact details. So if you have anything, if you need any help, any kind of consultation, you can always reach out to me. Okay. So before I get into the presentation itself, a quick moment to look at this slide. So we have our Dell experts, Dell advisors, consultant, happy to help you. So please feel free to dial on the number mentioned on the slide, or you can also visit on our website, uh, dell.co.uk slash a small hyphen business hyphen solutions. And our consultants and advisors will be absolutely happy to help with you and to show you what good looks like from an infrastructure point of view. So please feel free to reach out to us whenever you need. Okay, so quick look at the agenda, the new normal, how things have changed during COVID and post the lockdown. Uh, Cloud benefits. So we will look at what exactly is a bit of cloud, and then look at what are the benefits, why people are looking towards it. What is the difference between cloud and multi-cloud? How exactly you should be planning to build an infrastructure, be it private, public, or multi-hybrid for yourself, and what Dell Technologies have to offer on those lines, and how exactly we can help you on your journey towards cloud. And then obviously we'll have Q&A, which Alex and myself will be able to take care towards the end of the session. I hope we are good to go. So this is the first slide. Wow, that's exactly what it is, pressure to innovate. uh, that is exactly what has happened because of COVID, because of the new normal. A lot of companies were forced to work from home, work remotely. The employees were asked to work from home, and the customers were not able to directly get connected, rather get connected virtually over the web. And that has actually put a lot of pressure on companies to be able to cope up by having the right infrastructure in place to be able to provide the right application. So if you look at these three things, application, infrastructure, and operating model, these are the three things that actually got affected mostly for any of the company. The companies who did not have the right applications which can be remotely accessed by employees or by customers had to invest in building new applications. People who already had applications, they had to look at different delivery models so that they can deliver the applications to their employees as well as customers. And that has put a lot of pressure to ensure the smooth running of their business. And while some of the companies already had that, some of the companies had in-house applications which they had to modernize in order to be able to provide like as a service solution. And for the companies who did not have the application, they had to build from scratch, or they will have to opt for something like software as a service. Look out for a company in the market who is offering a similar kind of application as a service which can be used by them and their employees to do their daily job and be more productive. And this has also put a lot of pressure on security. If my employees and customers are accessing their data and all the applications over the web, how secure is it? And that's where more and more people also were inclined towards investing in something like VDI. Now, to get all these applications, have the right application delivery model, deliver these applications to employees and customers, obviously you need the right infrastructure in place. And building an infrastructure from scratch to do all this obviously did not make sense. So a lot of companies, what they did was they started to look at how they can leverage their existing infrastructure and build on top of it. So they were looking to use the existing infrastructure and expand on top of the existing infrastructure by building flexibility, so that they are also preparing themselves for the future. So anyone who did not have the VDI, they had to build the infrastructure in house or in cloud. Anyone who did not have the application, they had to build the applications from scratch within the office, or had to look for an option called software as a service, which is being provided by public cloud, or maybe build your own cloud services. And the reason why they had to look out for different options was because the today's scenario has also put a lot of pressure on pockets, finances. So people were not really looking to invest upfront, rather they were looking for operational cost. And that is exactly one of the major benefits of going for cloud solutions. So you don't have to invest everything in one go. Rather, you can spread your payments on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. So more and more people were looking at consumption model, operational expenditure rather than capital expenditure. And because of all this, obviously, not always you can look at finances. If you have a company, you need the infrastructure to ensure that your company provides the service smoothly. Then sometimes you will actually also have to overlook those things and invest to ensure that your company is still operating and they don't go out of business. So at the same time, you also need to look at the productivity of the people. You have employees working from home, you need to make sure that you provide the right application, right access levels to make sure these people are productive. So all these has actually put a lot of pressure on a lot of companies to relook how their infrastructure is operating, to invest in their infrastructure to ensure the productivity is not hampered, and at the same time customer experience does not go down. Okay, now let me just take a moment to take you through this slide. IDC in 2019, they predicted by 2022, 60% of global economy will be digital. Is that the case? I think yes, but the only difference is it's not 2022. Now we are looking at 2020. Now, what this COVID or this pandemic has done is it has brought forward that digitalization much more earlier. Because of this pandemic, more and more companies need to use digital platforms to cater to their customers, to be able to sell their services, sell their products online, to be able to be contacted by the customers through some or many digital platforms. Look at for ourselves for now. We are doing a webinar, and this number of webinars that we have done during the pandemic has gone down, gone up multiple fold, and that is also one of the effects of this what pandemic has brought forward. So, well, can you just simply go ahead and opt for a digital platform? No, you need to look at the right digital platform for your company, and you can only exist, you can only be competitive if your platform, the application, the services that you're offering online to customers are smooth, they have a better customer experience, and at the same time you need to make sure that GDPR compliances and all that is taken care of. So you now most of the companies are actually putting all their data online, which can be accessed by a lot of people globally. So they need to make sure it's secured. And for the people who does not have the application, they have opted for applications from third parties, from public clouds, to get an advantage, competitive edge over the competition, to be able to provide the right experience. And this is exactly where a lot of companies have started looking at cloud, because not everyone have the ability to build those applications, host those applications in house, and provide those kind of services which is expected by customers. And that's when cloud comes into picture. More and more people started looking at cloud. Now I've been talking about cloud. There might be someone who would like to ask me what exactly is cloud, how exactly is that going to benefit for you guys. I actually just put this one slide which says what exactly is cloud computing. So if you look at this, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand access to shared pool. So basically, rather than building your own infrastructure in a house, you can actually opt for this from any of the providers, and then you can say, I need these resources, X amount of processing power, X amount of storage, X applications I want for my company, and all these resources can actually be rapidly provisioned and released with a minimal management effort, which means you can just build your own cloud or contact any of the cloud providers. You let them know what exactly you need, and then they will provide you that kind of service, infrastructure, platform as quickly as possible without a lot of intervention from your management or IT team setting that up. And we have different types of clouds in there. If you can see on the left side, there are types of cloud: software as a service. One of a good example of this would be Salesforce, SFDC. A lot of companies have put their customer information up there. They manage their customer information. We use that. There is platform as a service. Companies who want to build their own application, but they don't have the right platform to build it, they can opt for this. For example, with Dell, we have Pivotal. If you are a company who are looking to build your own application, if you have the IT team, you can just opt for a platform. If you don't have the right IT expertise in house, you can also ask for those expertise from Dell Pivotal, and we'll be happily able to help you. And then we also have infrastructure. People who does not have the right infrastructure in office, uh, then they can opt for infrastructure. They can just reach out to us, and we will provide you infrastructure as a service, wherein you can opt for what infrastructure you require, and then you can pay as you use it, pay as much as you use it, consumable model. And then we have different manners. Yes, it is on demand. We have a broad network access. It will provide you resource pooling. People can access data from anywhere, and at the same time, it can be rapidly. It is elastic, so which means you can start from as small as possible, and then you can grow to any number you mean to, and then it's all measured. You just pay for what you use. And different models. We have public, which is companies like AWS, Google, Azure from Microsoft. Then private, you can build your own private cloud. And if you have the expertise, you can do that. If you want us to help you in building your own private cloud, we can also help you on that. Then we have community, for example, universities coming together and building their own cloud for a common usage, for a common goal. Now, a mix of these different models is actually what is called hybrid. And that's exactly what we're discussing right now. So basically, a lot of people use hybrid. If you ask me, I have some of my data sitting on a cloud platform, and then I have some of my data sitting on my own devices. That's hybrid. I'm using in-house, I'm using public. I have multiple public clouds. I have some data sitting on one, and some data sitting on another platform. That's like multiple cloud. Similarly, a lot of companies in market actually have data sitting in-house, and then a lot of companies have started already putting a lot of data on public cloud. Maybe it could be for backup reasons, it could be for disaster recovery purposes, or it could be their archival data. It could be Office 365, your Exchange, your emails. All these are basically public cloud offerings. So most of the companies have already started investing into that. But what we need to look at is how exactly we make sure that we utilize it to the best. So let me just give you an example of how exactly and how what the approach should be. Now, on this slide, what you can read, the first thing, which is the most important thing, digital transformation, or for that matter, cloud, is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not like you will be totally transformed anytime. It's something that's ongoing, that you need to do it. Now, if you look at the phases below, that basically gives you an idea of where we are right now. In first phase, rather, let me just take a step back. Before virtual, everyone was using physical environment. They had physical servers, physical storage, physical network, the one server running one application, maybe multiple entire data sitting on a physical box. Now, with the virtualization coming into picture, early 90s, and maximum adoption in early 2000, more and more people started moving from physical to virtual. Now we have almost all the Fortune 100 companies virtualize their infrastructure, which means rather than having, you can have one physical server running multiple virtual machines, or you can virtualize your storage or network for that matter. Now, the next step, phase one to phase two, is how exactly you move from virtual to cloud. What basically that means is you can have your own infrastructure in-house running virtual machine, but you can also have some of your data, some of your application hosted on your cloud platform. So you can have X amount of usage within the office. For example, maybe something which is very critical, which requires very high performance. Maybe from a compliance point of view, you don't want to put your customers' information on cloud. You can build that infrastructure in-house using virtualization in your on your virtual cluster, and then you can pick and choose what applications, what data you want to host on a cloud. Maybe it could be archival data, it could be a backup data, it could be data that is not being used regularly. You don't want your IT team to be wasting time on those managing those application, that data in-house. So phase two, a lot of people have already started doing that. They have their virtual environment. They have also started opting for cloud solutions. What's next? The next is hybrid cloud. Now, the reason why we look at hybrid cloud is you can't run everything on cloud. I will not be able to run my database, which requires very high level of performance, which needs a huge amount of access by a number of people, to be running on a cloud, because that might not give me the same level of performance that I might need. Or maybe it gives the performance, but the cost of hosting that and getting that kind of performance is so huge that I will end up paying maybe 4 times or 5 times much more higher. So it has to be a balance between what you want to host in-house, maybe build your own private cloud, and what you want to host offshore or offline, maybe on a public cloud, on a public platform. So we need to understand where we are in this. If we have already virtualized from physical to virtual, then we need to look at how exactly we can utilize cloud to offload some of the non-important stuff. things like unpredictable things, whereas the predictable data you can run it on your platform. And then at the same time look at what are the different cloud models who can provide what. Now, let me just also at the same time tell you the benefits and some of the challenges that cloud is presenting right now. A lot of customers right now are not looking at one cloud as a platform. You know, for example, I might be using a Google for one kind of services which they are known for, and then at the same time, I'm also using AWS for another applications which they are known to be very good at. At the same time, I might be using my Microsoft Azure maybe for my Office 365. Plus, I also have X amount of applications running in house, and at the same time, some applications running in VMware Cloud. Now, just look at it. I am using multiple clouds because they are known for something good. So AWS is no good for something, Azure is good for maybe Office 365, Google is good for something. So my applications might be hosted in multiple platforms. How easy is it to manage those platforms? AWS will have a different management console. Someone who understands AWS has to be hired to manage that. Then Microsoft have a different platform, Google, VMware. Now, I am actually creating is I'm creating a lot of silos. I have in-house identity management. I have someone who's managing my AWS, Azure, Google. And if I don't have people who understands everything, maybe I need to train them. I need to hire someone who understands all this. And that is creating a huge a challenge in the IT industry right now. And at the same time, what is also very difficult is, let's assume today you are using one platform, one public platform. Tomorrow you don't like it. You actually like the other platform. How do you migrate the data from one platform to another? I think you will have to first get all the data back to your site and then move it to Azure. Do you have the right infrastructure to do that? How much downtime can you afford in that? How much money is that going to cost you? Is cloud going to bring you any benefit in terms of price? All these are questions that are in the mind of people right now, which is exactly why I think it is important that we need to build a cloud right from scratch, having the right virtual platform in house, making sure when you are using cloud, you need to have a common platform which will allow you to manage your in-house as well as public cloud, both from a single management console, so you don't end up hiring more and more people, training more and more people to do that. And that is exactly where we come into picture. So let me just tell you exactly what are the challenges we have right now. So cloud is an operating model, and why you shouldn't be putting everything in cloud. Laws of physics. What is laws of physics? The accessing the data in-house, will it give much higher performance compared to accessing the data from a cloud, which is a data center based somewhere out in the world, which is faster? Where will I get the maximum performance from? Obviously, if I am looking for running applications which requires very high performance, then it has to be as close to my system as possible, not running on cloud. Laws of economics. Is it always cheaper? No, it is not. To get a tier 4 cloud data center or tier 4 kind of services wherein you build high availability, you have X amount of performance being brought to you, that is going to cost you a lot, much more than what it might cost you maybe hosting your own data center or building your own private cloud. And then you also have something called as laws of land. Now there are different laws in different countries, and some of the laws in countries doesn't allow you to host your customers' information outside of the country. Now, how do you figure that out? If you are opting for a public cloud, which is globally known, what are you going to do? Are you going to sign an agreement with them that the data will not move out of the country? How exactly is that going to work? Now, these are some of the questions that are popping up in the minds of people as to how exactly we can fix this. And that's exactly the reason. If you see 92% people, we have actually done a survey. This survey was done by ESG, which is a research organization part of CRN. And what they have found out is 92% of the people who are using cloud solutions, they want to bring back their applications or data back to on premises. Reasons: laws of the land, laws of economics, it's not cheaper. Laws of the land, the laws doesn't allow you to move the data outside of country. Laws of physics, they're not getting the right amount of performance. 83% value consistency of infrastructure from data center to cloud. They want to have one common management console to manage their in-house and cloud data. cloud applications. They don't want to be hiring multiple people, or managing different data centers differently, wherein they don't have any connection. They want to be able to move data from private to public cloud with not much challenge. They want to be able to move their data, virtual machines, from one system to another running on a cloud without any hiccups, without any challenges, which is exactly why we say the future isn't public or private, it's both. So you need to understand what is right for you. From laws of physics, what applications, what data you want to host on cloud, which does not require very high performance. Backup data, maybe building a disaster recovery site, maybe data which is archival, maybe data which is not being used regularly, data or applications which requires predictive amount of performance that you can host on a public cloud. And obviously that is also going to cost you not a really use, because you don't have to manage that. It is being managed by someone who knows it. And what will you host on private? Something which requires very high performance, some things which requires huge amount of IOPS, which requires fast access to data, something which is predictive. You know exactly what you need to do. So predictive, unpredictive, you need to understand. Predictive has to be enhanced. Unpredictive you can put, because you can pay as you use it. The laws of the land. So future, as it's mentioned, it's not public or private. It's understanding what is good for what and utilizing both of them, which is hybrid. And that's where we come in. Dell Technologies Cloud Solutions. Now, what we have done is, obviously under Dell Technologies, we have companies VMware and Dell EMC. Dell EMC, a company, and our strategically aligned partner VMware. Both of us has come together, and both of us, Dell EMC being number one in infrastructure solutions in the world, be it on servers, be it on storage, be it on HCI, we are number one globally. And then you have VMware, which is the number one virtual platform globally, virtual cloud platform globally. We two have come together and we have built something called as Dell Technologies Cloud, one cloud experience. What does that mean for you? Let's look at that. World class infrastructure, server storage, networking, HCI, on demand, everything together, along with VMware Cloud Foundation platform, which will help you build your own private cloud. Plus, you can also, we also have partners like AWS, Google, Microsoft, and 4,200 plus other partners. So let's assume you have your infrastructure running on Dell EMC in-house, and then you introduce VMware Cloud Foundations on that infrastructure. Now you are building your own private cloud. The same management consoles that you use for VMware Cloud Foundation, you can use the same management console to also manage if you have a data sitting on Google, data sitting on Azure, data sitting on AWS. So what you can do now is you can manage your AWS data and your in-house data from a single cloud management tool or a single management console from VMware VCF. So what you have done is you have taken care of the challenges in terms of managing multiple data centers differently, hiring multiple people who have a knowledge of AWS, Azure, Google. Rather, you get someone who has a very good knowledge of VMware. Plus, with this, what you're now able to do is you can move your data, your applications, your virtual servers, machines from private cloud to public cloud with just a few clicks using VMware Cloud Foundation. And vice versa, you might be having some data which is sitting on cloud, you want to bring it on premise using VMware Cloud Foundation, you will also be able to do that. How cool is that? So now you don't have multiple management consoles. You don't have to bother about where the data is sitting. Maybe you don't like one public cloud solution today and you want to migrate. Not a problem. VMware Cloud Foundation will help you migrate from one public cloud to another public cloud without disruptions. We will take care of migration. We will move data, and we will not ask you to actually build your infrastructure to bring the data back with the lowest downtime you could expect. And that's exactly what Dell Technologies Cloud has built. So what do we need to do now? What we need to do now is we need to build our own infrastructure in a way wherein we manage the entire infrastructure, be it in-house, be it off-premise, using a single management console, single control plane. And at the same time, what we need to do is we need to try and look at what offerings do we have. For example, what you can see over here is the different offerings that we have from Dell. We have something called as a turnkey appliance. It's an HCI platform. If you are someone who want to build an infrastructure and you don't want to do the deployment, installation, everything from scratch, what you can basically do is you can actually buy a turnkey appliance from Dell, which will allow you to host all your applications, host all your services without any challenge. So you can just buy everything out of the box. We will deliver it to you. Just it's a turnkey appliance, and everything is up and running. If you want to have your own infrastructure in place, you can buy validated designs from us, best of servers, best of in-class storage, networking, and you can build it all by yourself. And if you don't want to build it, you don't want to host it, you want someone else to do it for us, VMware Cloud on Dell EMC platform, you can use that data center as a service. All your infrastructure will be taken care by us. On top of that, if you are running any of the cloud, using any of the public other cloud platforms like Azure or Google, you can continue doing that. Now let's look at this stages of cloud transformation. I've just put this slide so just to take you through the very basics. Stage one, multiple servers. We started with virtualization. I have 3 4 physical boxes running multiple number of virtualized servers with a traditional storage box. Stage two, we have actually had multiple sites providing DR. Stage three, we have moved some of the data to our cloud. Now I have my data being managed at cloud. Stage four, what we need to do is hybrid cloud doesn't start at stage four. It actually started at stage one. So if you are someone who wants to build your infrastructure from scratch, you need to invest in the right technology. You can buy best in class service from Dell. You can host your VMware licenses. You can start from virtualizing the machine. The same license will help you have a distributed virtualization. With the introduction of VCF, you will be able to build your own private cloud, start self-servicing, start chargeback automation, and as and when you want, you can just move your data to any of the public cloud using the same VCF platform. You don't need to change the management console. You don't need to invest a lot. Everything is going to be operational expenditure. And then stage five, you decide which public cloud is good for what applications, and then similarly, you start hosting application based on their expertise. So multi-cloud is, as I said, it's not a destination. It is a journey. It has to start from scratch. So if you have the infrastructure in place, you can right away start working on building the right infrastructure to ensure that you reach to a level wherein you can have your own private and public cloud being hosted through Dell VCF, VMware VCF, and being able to manage at a single console. Now that's, I think, that pretty much this slide pretty much tells you where you are. You need to look at which part of the journey you are at. If you are at stage one, what do you need to do to get to stage two? If you are at stage two, what do you need to do to get to stage three? Maybe buying a VCF, installing it on your bare metal servers, building your own private cloud, and then real stage four, understanding what applications can be offloaded to public cloud, and then being able to manage all of them together. Well, this is not just all. This is just a very basic information about what we are doing. At the same time, what we are offering along with that is all these services that you can opt for. Consultation services, whatever support you need in terms of understanding what is the right model for you, private cloud, public, a hybrid, a mix of all. We can help you with that. Deployment services, whatever deployment you want, we can take care of that. Even if you want us to take care of your private cloud deployment, we'll do that. If you want to build a private cloud in a third party data center, we can also take care of that. Support services, we are the best in the market right now. Managed services, you want to be able to have everything as a service through our managed service provider, we can also do that. And if you have a team of people whom you want to be trained to manage all this in house, we also provide education services. Now, all this will help you boost time to value with having the right expertise in place, accelerate deployments with turnkey appliances with expertise from Dell, expedite cost savings because technology is the backbone of any growing company right now. You name any company in the world, top 100 companies in the world, any startups, any company that is doing really good is majorly because they have the right infrastructure in place, which helps them in reaching out to their customer, providing better customer experience, being able to ensure that their employees are working from anywhere in the world, being more productive. And that actually is going to save a lot of cost for you and make you more successful, and at the same time mitigate business risk. Not just that, one more thing for you guys, which is being offered by the FS Dell Financial Services. In this tough times, we understand money is going to be a challenge. So what are we doing? To better manage cash flow, we are adding payment deferrals up to 180 days. What does that mean? That means you can buy or invest in infrastructure right now, and then you can pay for it after 6 months. How great is that? Not just that, we also offer 0% financing. If you want to opt for finance, you can opt for a 0% finance. Again, you can start paying after 6 months, 0% interest rate. At the same time, for the companies who does not have the right infrastructure in place and they are struggling in these times, you can get a short term solution from Dell, which you can use it for 6 months or 12 months, and then you can return it back to us, and you only pay for what you are going to use. Now, all this is being offered by Dell Financial Services, which is an arm of Dell Technologies, just to make sure our customers have all they need to survive this pandemic and grow, be competitive, have an edge in the market to do better. Now, with that, what I'll do is I'll just give it back to Alex. But before that, I'll just keep this slide on so that for the people who have joined in late, you can make a note of the number that you can see on the slide, or you can visit us on dell.co.uk/, small-business-solution. Whatever, if you need any consultation, if you need any advice, if you need any support from Dell, please feel free to reach out to these numbers, or you can always reach out to me as well. With that, I'll give you back to Alex, and let's see if you have any questions for me to take up.
Awesome. Thank you very much indeed, Syed. Thank you for that presentation. Tell us a little bit more about, I thought maybe just to get it clear in everybody's mind, just talk us through the latest payment options that you had there as well. So you said that, so that's 180 days.
That's right.
That people can defer, and also 0% options as well. So pretty flexible given what's happened over the last 5 or 6 months in the way that people have been impacted, their companies, their livelihoods, etc. But they clearly need to be mobile, clearly need to be flexible working, etc.
Absolutely. So look, I deal with customers every day, and I've been dealing with customers for a long time, and we understand what our customers, or for that matter ourselves, we are going through. This pandemic have impacted us in ways that we would never expect it to do, and it has also put a lot of burden on our financial aspect, from a financial aspect point of view. So keeping that in mind, to ensure that our customers out there, all because they need to innovate. The pressure to innovate is very high because they can't just close down their business. They need to make sure their employees are working remotely. They are able to provide the services to their customers anywhere in the world. But they don't have the finances. So DFS, Dell Financial Services, an arm of Dell Technologies, has come up with deferred payment for to make sure that you have the right infrastructure in place. You can opt for whatever solution you want to, and you can start your payments after 6 months' time. And also, apart from that, what we offer is 0% financing, which basically means you can pay now, you can buy now, and maybe after 6 months you will start the payment, and that too is going to be 0%. You're not going to end up paying much more. So we are not not trying to benefit out of this pandemic, is how I'll put it across. We are just trying to help customers out there.
No, I think that comes across, really clearly that, a company of this size is able to offer that, whereas, other people in your space are not going to be able to have the flexibility to offer businesses that. So I think that's one of the benefits there. And what do you think? Do you find, like, percentage-wise, when people come to you? And maybe you've seen the difference over the last 4, 5, 6 months, but what kind of stage of cloud transformation do you find people are the people that you're working with at the moment? Like, you listed 5 stages before. What sort of percentages do you think people are at when you actually speak to them?
Well, because we are small, we are catering to small business. We have different types of customers. We have customers who have actually set their foot in the market. We have customers who are just starting up. Okay. Companies who are starting up, it is pretty easy. We can provide them the solution, which is future proof, which will help them to adopt all the new technologies that are available in the market. But for the companies who have all been around for quite some time, most of these companies have crossed that stage 1 and 2, which is they are virtualized platform. They have their entire infrastructure virtualized, maybe in one office or multiple offices. Now they have also opted for a certain public cloud as a service, and we are hearing a lot from them in terms of how difficult it is for them to manage their own in-house infrastructure, but at the same time get someone who will be able to manage their public cloud infrastructure. And that is the stage we are at. People who have already adopted cloud, they are facing challenges in terms of management, in terms of being able to move from one public cloud to another, offload or onboard the data, move the data between the data centers. But at the same time, we have a lot more customers who have not invested in any of the cloud services, who are looking to adopt cloud solution, because this pandemic have made them to rethink about their strategy of IT, how they are going to look at it. So we have most of the companies asking question about how we can build their cloud, what do we need to do to have the right technology or infrastructure in place. So majority of them, I'll say stage 2, when they are virtualized, they are looking to go towards cloud.
And how much time do you think you're actually saving somebody? And I mean, money, you can, I guess you couldn't really quantify this, but time-wise, you think of how fast we've jumped forward in the last 6 months in so many different technologies and industries that we've literally jumped 4 years ahead. But if you're, effectively future-proofing a lot of these businesses, how much time do you think that saves somebody at your typical SMA with, I don't know, 50 to 100 employees, for example?
Well, as you said, it depends. It depends a lot on exactly what they are doing, what they want to do. We had customers basically, who did not have the infrastructure in place to be able to provide their employees to work from home. With VDI solution, with turnkey appliances, we were able to do it in like a week's or 2 weeks time. Just imagine how much money that saved compared to not being able to allow their employees to log in or to work at all. Within 2 weeks time, they were able to have their entire, I think it was around close to 80 employees being able to get connected. Similarly, from a cloud platform, it is not just about how much money you save from hosting your data on cloud. It is also about the performance, the amount of money that you spend on latency. People can't quantify that. Just imagine we are doing this video, and this video, it's being streamed across to hundreds of people, and it slows down. It doesn't work. It just drops off. We can't quantify how much money that's going to cost us, but there is a huge amount of money. There might be a lot of people who want to learn from there. For you and me, it is an investment that we are trying to put across and try and see how we can help customers understand that. Similarly, putting things on cloud, building your own private cloud. I think, to be very honest with you, one of the data, I'll just use one of the data points. By building the right by opting for the right solution within your data center, people were able to save 92% of the deployment times by just having a turnkey application, turnkey appliance. 92% deployment time. And it's like self-service portal. Just imagine how much amount of money they are going to save from a head point of view. How many people you require to manage multiple clouds compared to one guy who knows everything about VMware. So a good thing, I think the good part about this is, if we have companies out there who want to understand how they can save money, we have tools. We will provide them consultation. We will run these queries in their infrastructure, and those tools will tell us exactly what kind of performance is required and how much money you are going to save by moving from one kind of infrastructure to another. At the same time, we can also tell them how much money you will save from going to public cloud or building your own private cloud or having a hybrid cloud. Dell has all the tools to help customers be able to quantify in terms of numbers what number it is going to be. So if you have customers out there, just feel free to reach out to us. We can do an assessment, and this assessment is free of cost. We can just run this assessment in your infrastructure, and we will be able to tell you what is right for you, what approach you should be taking, and how much savings it is going to bring to you over the next 3 years period of time, because more and more people are looking at total cost of ownership these days.
Yeah. And what would somebody typically expect from, say, the free assessment to the kind of lead time of actually getting infrastructure built out and managed, etc.? And basically get up and running, I suppose, from an assessment through to getting themselves up and running. And obviously that's going to depend on the size of the company, but I'm just thinking like support, how does that process work for people, like conversations?
The assessment that we do right now, we have a very simple, easy to use assessment, keeping in mind security policies as well. So we run this assessment for 24 hours or 7 days, depending on the size of the company. If they are a very small company with limited infrastructure, 24 hours should be good. But if you have a huge platform, big infrastructure, and you want to understand what happens throughout the week, then we can run a 7 days assessment, all free of cost. Once we have the assessment in place, we will be able to design a solution in collaboration with you and provide you the solution like within a week's time. From there, if you want to get everything up and running, we are talking about maybe a month or two compared to 6 months time.
Okay.
Building up a private cloud of yourself. So assessment, a week's time maximum, providing a solution a week or two, getting it shipped across to you in a week or two's time, and then getting it installed. If it's a turnkey appliance, in a week's time.
Yeah.
If you want to build it from scratch on your own, you want to do it, we can provide you all tested devices, which means you don't have any complications setting it up. Still, we are not talking about a huge time. It will just cut down your deployment time to go to production by almost around 70 to 80%.
And again, just point people in the direction of the slide we've got up here. So for those of you who are looking to speak to someone, to find out about free assessment that Syed's talking about, the number is right there for you. I'm also going to type up the link for those of you watching this on the replay. It will also be the last thing that you see, so it will be nice and easy for you to be able to click the link or phone that number and find out more. And I suppose maybe to end on Syed, probably a big part of this for a lot of people who haven't made that move and are a little bit anxious, a little bit worried, is wondering what kind of support is available if things to hold their hand through the process. So maybe you can just reiterate what support is available from Dell.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dell Pro Support Solutions, Pro Deployment Solutions are the best in the market right now. We provide 24/7 4-hour mission critical. Now, that is something that you might be thinking, if anything goes wrong. No, we start working even before things go wrong. So we have something called as predictive analysis built inside our machines, which will give you a heads up of anything which might about to fail, because we have sensors spread across our machines, which gives us indication of what is working well, what is not working well, what parts within the box might go wrong. And we have monthly reports being shared with the IT team to ensure they have a full hands-on knowledge about how the infrastructure look like, what the challenges might come up. So we don't look at fixing things once they have failed. Our approach is pretty clear. We will not allow things to fail.
Great line to end on, I think. That's a great line to end on. Well, look, thank you once again for your time today. Thank you to the audience joining us both here on the platform live, those of you watching the replay later, and those of you watching on through our streaming service on social media as well. We'll be back at 12 o'clock today for our last webinar of the day. If you'd like to come and join me for that one. We're talking about the future of freelancing and the gig economy. But in the meantime, Syed, any last words from yourself, or otherwise, I just thank you once again for your time.
I think my only ask is if you want to just know what exactly it is, how exactly IT is going to help you in growing your business or getting a competitive edge. For a lot of companies, it is also about survival in these tough times. Just reach out to us. We don't charge you for having a conversation. We are here to provide you what is consultation, free consultation, advisory in terms of what good looks like. Spending an hour with us will get you a better understanding of what IT can bring to table in order for your companies to be more and more successful. So please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help you.
Perfect. And likewise, I hope you've all enjoyed this webinar. And like I say, next one is up at just over an hour at 12 p.m. And I know we've got another live webinar with the team from Dell Technologies next week as well. So that's going to be on September the 16th, where we are talking about streamlining your business using remote data center management. And that's going to be with Noel next week. So I look forward to speaking to one of your colleagues then. So thank you once again.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks very much. Have a nice time. I'll speak to you again.
Will do. Take care, everybody. Thank you for joining.